Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here and gathering for a sweet hour of grounding. This is Graceful Ground, and the graceful is representing the full moon that is today, and really wanting us to be on the ground and roll around and be grounded. So as this is recorded, this is 8 weeks into me sheltering here with my family. I'm in my room, my yoga room and my bedroom, and where I'm teaching from now. I'm so excited to be recording my first class here. So thank you for being a part of it, and I hope it supports your day and your health. So we are in 8 weeks of sheltering in, and I'm finding I'm really drawing strength and stability through the presence of the earth right now, like really calling on that ground to stabilize and support my nervous system and my heart and remedy some of the stress during this pandemic. So I'm going to invite a practice of connecting to the ground, really becoming aware of all of our parts as we practice and how they're meeting the ground, and really allowing the nervous system, our bones, our heart to feel the stability that is present in the earth and in your mat or wherever you're practicing today. I love the idea of everyone practicing in different spots, and so just welcoming you to your yoga spot and getting ready for, a mat or a prop if you have it. If you don't have a prop, that's fine too. This is going to be really in all levels, gentle class to support the wellness of your body and get you back in touch with your body. So today is also the full moon. I'm quite excited about letting our bodies really meet gravity and meet the earth, and then simultaneously kind of open to this big fullness of the moon right now, this big expansion of light that really is illuminating and exposing. And so right now there's this opportunity to, yes, feel the fullness of the moon in our physical body. We are made of water, and we are affected by the full moon's kind of pull and dance with our water. But also an invitation to take it to another layer. Like, what is this full moon, this bright full moon, wanting to expose to ourselves? How could we possibly also expand into our fullness right now and our radiance and our light? So Tawny Sterios, my husband, wrote a book about called Gravity and Grace, and he talks a lot about this gravity that we'll be playing with as two bodies attracted to each other. So our physical body really being attracted to the earth, to the mother. And with Mother's Day coming up, I just thought this is a perfect time to really connect to the mother earth, and to our mother and our mothers and our mothers and our mothers that have been the earth for our body. The ma, the matter, the mother, and our matter comes from our mother, right? So how can we really fully release into gravity and into the earth without having some reverence for the matter and the mother that we came from? So there's these attractions of two bodies, little body and big body of the earth, that we'll be exploring. And then I'm opening up, how can we also be attracted, what he calls grace, that I'm playing with here, the light in us, the luminosity, the beauty, the spirit that's in the human, also to the light and the luminosity of the moon. So could we feel that same kind of attraction that gravity has to this big lunar presence? Could we open ourselves to being full and radiate more. So I often think the full moon is that opportunity for us to literally like expose or put like a spotlight on us. Literally, it's doing that at night. I've been waking up with the big full moon kind of coming through the window and waking me up. And I think it's doing that on many levels, the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, because they're all really interwoven. Yoga is this yoking and this union of all of us. So what is being lit up in your life right now, or really exposed, coming to the light? And as we play with the ground and really touching it with our hands and our feet, can we also just hold the question to our wise body of what else is being exposed? What else are we now ready to shine some light on and take a look at? So the meeting of the earth literally has been so nourishing for me, laying on the grass, finding myself doing a lot more floor work on my yoga mat, almost just wanting to just lay. Because there is so much stimulation in these times and in modern lives, pandemic or no pandemic, there is a lot of activity, a lot of movement. So our yoga practice can be a remedy to that by slowing us down to feel this nourishment that is always here on the earth. It's always nourishing the trees, the plants, and if we slow down enough to allow that to also come into our physical body, this nourishment from the earth. And also it feels like that is what we get from our mothers too. We have been nourished in their bodies. And so there's just a real similarity here that I wanted to hold space for around slowing down to honor the nourishment that we receive from the earth, the ground, and even opening ourselves up more to really feeling it and letting it into our nervous system and our hearts. And also to expand into gratitude and deep reverence for the bodies that we came from and the mothers that gave us this life to experience and how precious it is. So I'm going to read just a little paragraph from Peter's book, Gravity and Grace, How to Awaken Your Subtle Body and the Healing Power of Yoga. And this is on page 66. He was talking here about our feet and our hands. And I want to just really get us into these amazing places of our feet and our hands today and wherever our body touches the earth. So I thought this passage would support our journey as we begin to move. Within the intimacy of contact we create with our feet and with our hands, the ground has something to share with the intuitive parts of ourselves. The information we receive from the ground through the skin is a starting point for yoga, both physically through the influence of gravity that has on balance, movement, and effort, and also psychologically as we feel the influence of grounding on our emotions and the endocrine nervous system responses that they produce. As we build a more intimate relationship with ground through intelligent practice and contemplation of our experiences, the subtle body forces slowly awaken, drawing the priority of our physical attention from working out toward a psychological attention to working in. As we make this shift, we move into yoga poses less through technique generated by mentally imposed muscular effort and more through surrender and the intuitive guidance that then appears. Movement not so much by intention, but by invitation. So on that note of invitation, because this is a virtual class, I'm really inviting you to tap into that wisdom of your body. He shares a quote in his book that says something like, training is believing what you are told, and wisdom or education is remembering what you know. And so because I can't see your movements today, I'm really pulling for that empowerment for you to trust the wisdom of the body and know what you know and move how you know your yoga practice needs to move today to fit you and to remedy wherever you're at today on this full moon. Full moons can sometimes be a portal of a lot of emotion or a lot of insight that can open up. So full permission to just breathe with what you feel and allow the skin and the presence of the earth to kind of soften that relationship. So today is also the flowering moon, it's called, with the spring presence here and so many flowers. There's this real breaking the chains of winter and opening into our fullness, like a big bloom, a radiance. And I definitely see that around my town here in California with lots of flowers, lots of allergies. I've been rubbing my eyes this today, so hopefully we'll stay clear as we practice. But just taking into where we are at this moment of opening like the flowers and singing like the birds outside and just really rejoicing in nature. It's really saying yes right now. And I invite that saying yes to our opening as we practice. So let's start. Let's take maybe some hands to our heart or in a prayer or on our hearts, somewhere on our body, and we'll close the eyes if that feels comfortable. If it doesn't feel comfortable, keep the eyes open, and we can just soften the gaze so we're not focused strongly on anything. Entering this luminous space where a little bit of fuzziness happens. For this first part, we'll do some breathing. Sitting cross-legged works great if you need to be in a chair or sit in a different way. And just continue to find and follow those threads of wisdom that's guiding your practice. Saying yes to the delight in nature. And taking a few slow breaths into your body. I'm going to play the Tibetan bowl and chime it 3 times. And for the first one, let this be a bell bringing yourself here today, gathering all your parts to be here. Letting your bones arrive and that mind that can go so many places, bringing the mind here, drawing it back. And the second chime of the bell, bringing your spirit here, your light, maybe even just feeling the light of the sun or the moon, the presence of light. And then on this last bell, bringing us here to our practice, honoring the ground, just welcoming the ground to our practice, the earth, the stability, the deep wisdom of the Mother Earth and of all mothers. And offering one more breath into this full presence of your body, the light, and the earth. We're going to start with a pranayama. Pranayama is a breathing technique. We're going to start with a really wonderful one that I feel fits for many people. Not too stimulating. It's quite balancing and calming to the nervous system. Great for morning or night. And it's called Nadi Shodhana, or also called alternate nostril breath. So we're actually going to use our fingers in different positions to block one side of the nostril so we can breathe through one at a time. Nadi Shodhana is two words, nadi, which is meaning channel, which in yoga and also in Tai Chi, Qigong, there's these nadis, or these channels of life force or prana that we can breathe in. And nadi is a channel that brings in that prana, which is a wonderful place to start as we begin a practice. And then Shodhana means purification. So we're just purifying these channels of breath, which is so important for a yoga practice. Really, the most essential is staying with your breath and diving into it. So to do this, we're going to use our right hand. We're going to use our peace fingers, and taking our peace fingers together, we're going to place them on the third eye, this wisdom point. You can even just kind of give it a little massage and touch this sweet center here in between the eyebrows. So we're also kind of giving a little massage or a little marma point stimulation to this place where we're going to invite in our wisdom today and through our practice. So we're going to keep our peace fingers there. And then with the right thumb, you're going to close off the right nostril and exhale completely through the left nostril. So I'm not mirroring you here. I'm still using my right hand. I want you to make sure you're using your right hand. At the third eye, right thumb closes off right nostril, and then exhale through the left completely. Good. Then you're going to inhale through the left. Close off the left nostril with the ring and pinky and hold the breath. A kumbhaka, just holding the breath full for a moment. And then you're going to open that right nostril, releasing the thumb, and exhale. Now we'll start inhale again through the right nostril. Full breath, a kumbhaka, holding the breath, closing off both nostrils. And then opening the ring and pinky, exhaling through the left. I know it's kind of hard to probably see my fingers here, so just work with my words as best you can. Hold that breath out for a bit, then inhale through the left nostril. Feeling that force of air kind of pushing through one nostril at a time. Hold the breath. Feel the sense of fullness, like the full moon, and then exhale through the right nostril. Shoulders are relaxed, face is relaxed. I'll walk us through this a few more times. So we're going to inhale through the right nostril. Lips relax, full breath. Hold the breath in. Just pause. And then exhale through the left nostril, completely with ease. Hold the breath out for a moment, pause, and then inhale through the left. Swallow that breath, hold that breath in, let it circulate, and then exhaling through the right nostril. Full and completely letting all the breath out, 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 out. Holding empty for a moment, a pause, and when you're ready, inhaling through the right nostril. Again, holding the breath, feeling that sense of fullness. When you're ready, shoulder soft, face soft, exhaling through the left nostril. Letting all that breath out, purifying. And then again, inhaling through the left nostril all the way up, feeling it fill the brain, that third eye with light, and then exhaling through the right. Now, because we each breathe at a different pace, and I want you to find one that works for you, we'll do this a few more times in silence. So you can really feel each nostril breathing, opening those channels of prana through these wonderful nostrils, this breath of life. Keeping the shoulders and the face relaxed. And if you happen to notice this breathing isn't working for you or it's confusing today, that's okay. Just rest your hands on your knees and breathe through both nostrils in a slow and smooth way. Smoothing out the breath, smoothing out the prana so that we can receive. Face off, shoulders relaxed. Noticing the air, maybe the temperature of the air moving through the nostrils. Feeling that sweet pause of holding the breath full and also holding the breath empty. The pause in between the inhales and the exhales. Noticing what you notice as you breathe. Maybe the sound of the breath starts to be heard. The vibration of the air. Maybe the nostrils begin to open up, widening their circumference, their ability to receive breath. Let's do one or two more. Last one. When you feel complete, letting both arms rest onto the knees, keeping the eyes closed if that continues to feel good for your body, and then noticing what it feels like to breathe through both nostrils now. Maybe there's a shift in your quality of breath. For me, it feels like I'm able to receive more breath. This is a wonderful one to slow down our breathing, slow down our nervous system, bring us back to this sense of calm. And for these last few breaths, offering up an intention for your practice, maybe an intention for this full moon, something that drew you to be with your body, to connect. And trusting the wisdom of the body as you set that prayer or intention, knowing it will be met. And gently opening the eyes, go slowly, letting in a little bit of light at a time. And then we're going to do an orienting practice where just like for you to look around your space a bit, noticing the colors, noticing the walls to the side, behind you, at the floor, just orienting yourself in space. Then we're going to take our bodies all the way down to our mats in a restorative rest pose. We're going to lay down onto our backs. Our knees are going to be bent. Our feet flat on the earth, feet about hip width. Arms down to the side, palms facing down. Give a little tuck to the chin so you feel the back of the neck long. Notice all the vertebrae resting onto the earth. And then as if you were resting kind of in a muddy spot, I'd like you to push your feet into the mat just a little bit, or whatever ground you're on. So it feels like the feet are making an impression, like into putty or clay. And notice that you can use both feet evenly, feeling the ground evenly. Same with the hands, spreading the fingers a little bit, gluing the palms into that putty, feeling the earth. Not pushing or overdoing it, just greeting, the little acknowledgement, almost like a little kiss of the body, stamping itself into this place. See if you can relax the legs a little bit, releasing their grip, so that you feel the weight of your body onto the sacrum, this sacred center, this sacred bone, this place where life starts. And allow the sacrum to be held by the earth. Just feeling where your sacrum touches, meets, relaxing the belly muscles, any gripping in the jaw or the face. Instead, focus on where your body is landing, letting it land there, feeling heavy through the bones. We're going to practice a diaphragmatic breath, breathing into the side ribs, down into the back of the heart, almost as if you could breathe into the floor. This full breath, feeling the side ribs expand a bit, the back of the heart expand a bit down into the earth. And the exhale, the breath releases, the belly releases, the legs maybe release a little bit more, but your feet are holding the legs. If you need a blanket underneath the head or the neck, please get what you need to be comfortable. Letting your body kind of sink in to the support of the earth. Now we're going to flip our palms to face up. Maybe taking the arms a little wider if that feels right, so the arms can completely rest the weight of their body. Notice how that simple shift in movement changes your awareness. Maybe now there's a sense of softening through the heart, opening. Now that we've taken our awareness of our breath into the diaphragm, the back of the heart, I'd like you to imagine that you could breathe down into the hips, as if you could breathe through the sacrum and down into the earth. Each exhale, finding a little moment of deeper release down, deeper rooting and falling, printing into the earth. Each inhale, feeling the breath move down into the hips, softening any gripping anywhere in the pelvic floor. Letting the sacrum be supported by the earth. Let's do one more full body breath now. Breathing in the chest, the belly, the pelvic floor, and even the legs and arms. Seeing if you can expand the presence of your breath to breathe into this full body as one whole body. Feeling all the bones, all the organs here. Breathing into the whole body one more time. And on the bottom of that exhale, you're going to lift both knees gently. Grab a hold of the knees with the hands. You can do so like this, where the arms are straight. So the kind of weight of the legs is tugging forward. You feel the weight on the sacrum again. And then on the exhale, give the elbows a little bend, draw the knees, rocking them forward, rocking on that sacrum and low back. And again, inhale, you'll straighten the arms. And exhale, you'll gently draw the knees in. See if you can allow the legs to be really passive, like they're empty and hollow. So the arms are doing more of the work as you massage your low back and your sacrum into the earth. Inhaling, taking the knees away gently, straight arms. Exhale, pulling the knees slowly forward to your degree of comfort. We'll do that 2 or 3 more times, feeling this gentle massage onto the sacrum. And making it feel good, a little free massage from the earth. And the last one, you're going to take your feet all the way back down to the earth. This time the feet are going to come together, arms out to the side, palms facing down for a little bit more support and a little more hugging of the earth. You keep the knees and the feet together, and you're going to rock the sacrum side to side. So it's like you're kind of tick-tocking the knees side to side, or windshield wiping kind of side to side. But the knees stay together, the thighs stay together, the ankles stay together. And it's not that dissimilar from what we were doing, rocking the sacrum up and down. Now you're going to feel a gentle massage side to side. It doesn't matter how deep you go here. You can take it just a subtle kind of twist. Some people might want more. Some people might need less. If you have instability in the sacrum or hips, or quite asymmetric, then less is more. Tiny micro movements of massage and gravity into the sacrum. And just checking in if there's any way you could make this feel better. Anything you could do to allow for more ease. And then following that thread of body intuition, exploring. We'll come back upright. Feet are going to stay together, knees bent. And on an exhale, we're going to raise our right knee up. Inhale, we're going to raise that foot back down, or drop it back down rather. Exhale, raising the knee up and the foot up like a half tabletop. Inhaling back down. We're starting really nice and slow, bringing some stability and heat to the hips. Keeping the spine neutral onto the earth. Exhaling the knee up. Inhaling the foot down. So we use the exhale to engage or move the core. It's a stabilizing practice. Often I'm teaching core restabilizing, core restoration, postpartum, post-surgeries. It's a really nice, simple one. Let's do one more. Exhaling, leg up. Inhaling, right leg down. And we'll switch. Exhale, left knee up. Inhale, left foot down. Going as slow as you need. Mindful, slow movements, keeping the spine neutral, the face relaxed, the breath smooth, soft. Noticing what it feels to just lift one leg away from the earth, fighting, resisting gravity. But on this last one, keep the left leg up. The weight is on the sacrum. And if you can, pushing a little bit into the hands, lift the right knee up to meet it. So the knees are together, and the feet and the ankles are together, zipping up the legs. Feeling that imprint of the spine and the sacrum onto the mat as you build a little heat in the core. Playing around with where the legs are so you feel the weight on the sacrum. Then from here, we're going to draw small circles with the knees and the ankles. Somehow this visualization of stirring a pot with your feet seems to really help. So we're creating a circular motion, a spiral, kind of like the full moon, stirring a big pot in one direction. Now, depending on how this feels on your sacrum, your back, your core, you can make this really micro circles, or you can take it a little wider. I invite you to remember to stay onto the sacrum. That will support the low back. Smooth breath, breathing into the diaphragm, the back of the heart, breathing deep into the earth, through the sacrum. And then let's reverse. Either small circles, tracing around the moon, or big circles, keeping the legs zipped up. Toes can be pointed or flexed. Feel what feels best for you. Hearing the sound of your breath, maybe feeling a little warmth start to build in the core. Let's come back to center, tabletop position with the feet about parallel or level with the knees rather. Holding for a few breaths, feel the weight on the sacrum. We're going to grab the right knee now, interlace the fingers, hugging the right knee into the chest. So right down towards that right shoulder, right rib, softening the right groin. The left leg can stay bent. That might feel best for some people's back, low back, and sacrum. If you feel ready for a little bit more, you want to experiment straightening the left leg along the earth. Let the chin tuck in a little bit, the throat soft. Feel the presence of the back body onto the earth. Breathing into the earth, through the skin, back of the lungs. And the exhale, maybe the knee draws in a little closer. Maybe a flex through both heels, opening through the backs of the legs, ankles. Then we're going to straighten the right leg gently to the ceiling or the sky. You can grab behind the right leg. If you have a strap, you can grab the strap over the right toes, and grabbing wherever you can. Taking the legs skyward, maybe a little point and flex through the toes and ankles, or a circle. Threading your breath through the back of this right leg. And feel free to bend the knee as much as you need. It doesn't have to be a straight leg. You're just working towards that. If the knee's bent and you want a little bit more, use the inhale to bend the knee, and then use an exhale to try to straighten the leg a little bit more. Again, inhale, the knee bends a little bit more towards your shoulder and your face. Exhale, a little extending. Let's do one more. Good. Then you're going to bend the left knee if it's not already. You're going to park this right ankle right on top of the left knee. With both hands pushed to the thighs, kind of like you're tugging or pulling the thighs away from the body. Creating a little traction in the hip socket. Now lift the left foot away from the earth. Grab what you can. Maybe that left thigh through that little open window of the right leg. Maybe over the knee or the shin bone. And give a little flex through the heels or a point through the toes. And a little breath into this right hip. Close the eyes. And breathing into these sweet sacred hips. This place that holds life. Breathing and feeling the breath touch and honor this sacred space. I'm going to go ahead and release. We'll switch by grabbing the left knee into the chest now. You can interlace the fingers or use a strap. The chin draws in so the spine is long, and a gentle, loving embrace with this left knee towards the shoulder. Moving with respect for these hips. Listening to what they need, which if you want a little bit more, maybe straightening the right leg might be an option for you. Flexing through the heels, another option. Re-gripping the knee or repositioning the hands for a better hold. Flooding your breath into this left hip. Notice how the earth is still there to release into, to breathe into, to hold you. How she's always held you. Option to straighten the left leg to the sky, to the ceiling, to the moon. Hands can interlace behind the back thigh or wherever feels appropriate. Some you can grab the toe or the foot, can use a strap. Invitation to be gentle with the hamstring. If it feels right to hold stillness, you can do that, or a little pumping where the left knee bends on the inhale. And then exhale, the leg extends slowly and mindfully. Inhale, the knee bends. And exhale, the leg works towards straight or maybe straight. Feeling what you feel in this left hip and hamstring. Noting there's often somewhat of a asymmetrical pattern in our bodies, an overusing or an underusing of one side. When you feel complete with that left leg, you're going to bend the right knee and stack this sweet left ankle on top of the right knee, creating a 4. Using the heel of the hands, these sweet hardworking hands, pushing into the thigh bones a little bit in a way that feels good, like a little tug, creating some space in the hips. And then when you're ready, lift the right foot away from the floor, hug the right knee, the right thigh, the right shin bone, closer in towards your body. Chin stays tucked, back of the neck is long. A little flex through your heels. And a deep awareness into that left thigh. You can get creative here if this is too intense. You can actually just park that right foot onto the earth like so. Let it be a little more passive. For those that need a little bit more, you can optionally use that left elbow and kind of press it gently into the inner left thigh or left knee for a little more resistance. So you're always finding a sweet spot, an exploration into what your body needs without overdoing it or underdoing it. just like everything in life. And forgiving yourself and having compassion when we go astray. Let's unwind that pose. Both feet back onto the earth. Arms alongside your spine one last time. Palms down, fingers slightly spread. Feeling the weight on the sacrum. Thighs and knees parallel, feet parallel. Spine held onto the earth. See if you can sink a little deeper into her. We'll take a nice inhale here into the floor. And on an exhale, slowly lifting the hips away from the floor, starting with the tailbone, peeling the hips, peeling the low back away from the floor, maybe the upper back, taking weight into the shoulder blades, a little squeeze of the thyroid as the hips lift, pushing down through your shin bones into the earth, into the feet, into that same image of pushing into putty, like you're stamping a footprint into the earth. Letting the throat be soft so it gets a squeeze here. Thyroid gland gets a squeeze. Face relaxed. The forehead is smooth as the hips hover. Inhale here into the belly, into the diaphragm, into the back of the heart. See on the exhale if it's possible to lift the hips a little higher. Push down into the shin bones a little more. And find your bridge. Find your pose, maybe using the arms to elevate the hips, but not overdoing it. Notice if you're gripping the anus, the sphincter, the butt cheeks too much. Just find that sweet spot. Notice if you're clenching the jaw or the shoulders. A couple options here. You can take the arms up towards the sky. If the shoulders will allow, maybe the arms up and over the head is an option, or grabbing the elbows. We'll stay here for 3 more breaths. Feeling the front side of the body open, trusting the back side, the shoulders, pushing in deeper into the earth. Flooding your body with that prana, the breath. And draw the arms back alongside the body, and we're going to slowly taper the spine down. But I'd like to see if you can go super molasses slow. One sweet, grateful vertebra at a time. Isolating one at a time these sweet pearls of your spine back into the earth. So the sacrum, and then the tailbone comes down. Lastly, once it's down, go ahead and give a nice hug to both knees into your chest. Maybe wrap the arms around the legs if you can, grabbing the elbows, or you can grab the wrists like so. Any way that feels like a nice hug, a nice thank you to these legs and hips that we paid some time to today. Even expanding our practice to support others, even thinking and hugging and thanking the hips that held you when you were incubating and growing into who you are today. Here we are in this little bound up tight spot like a baby. Oh, the cycles. We're going to take the feet to the ceiling, grab a hold of the backs of the legs, and like a baby, we're going to kind of do a little rocking and a little rolling on the spine, back and forth. No way to do it right or wrong. Let it feel good. Again, like a little free massage onto the earth, rocking and rolling. Maybe you notice a tight spot in the back and you want to hang out there a little bit more as you rock and roll. Let's do 2 more. Massaging your spine, getting a little playful with your body. We're going to rock all the way up. We're going to come into a lunge, a low lunge with our left foot going forward. So the right knee can stay onto the ground, the left leg forward, knee above the ankle. We're going to inhale our arms up. I'd like you to feel the support of the earth as you come up. Arms can stay out to the side if this feels like enough, opening through the chest and the heart, or allow yourself to play with the arms. Maybe they want to go straight up. Maybe the hands want to touch or interlace, giving yourself permission to remember what you know, how to make this pose work for you. Finding the breath. Good, and then we'll go ahead and reverse. Hands maybe to the floor to switch, stepping the right foot forward into the earth, stamping it there, trusting that back knee into the earth, and using both, like your feet, your ground into the earth, and then we'll rise from that presence of ground. Maybe finding a different place for the arms to explore the space around you. Maybe a little smile to the corners and edges of your mouth. Just letting in this deep reverence and delight for life. Like the birds that have been singing in the spring mornings, just finding this joy. Seeing if you can move it into your body. Good. Thanking the hips. We'll take the arms all the way back down. And we're going to come onto the knees like they are our feet. Still feeling connected to the earth. So the tops of the feet are onto the earth. Feeling rooted. Maybe a little tuck of the core. Feeling strong and stable, long. We're going to do a couple back strokes with the arms. Right and left. Like you're moving through water. Or swimming in your favorite lake or ocean. Warming up the shoulders. Right, that might be enough. You can stay with this nice, fluid, refreshing movement. Or you can start to tuck the toes. And with that next swing of the hand back, see if you can touch the ankle or the heel and come back. So just a little skimming, a little touching of the hand to the foot, and then back. For those that feel able, you can park the hand onto that heel and take the opposite arm up. Breathing into the front of the body as it opens here. Exploring with that upper arm where in space is best. And then like a friend is pulling you out of this pose with that upper arm, take it forward, and like someone's pulling you, helping you out of this pose. Oh, thank you for coming. We will switch sides, swinging the opposite arm back if you're ready, tucking the toes. Or if you've got accessibility, you can touch the heel without tucking the toes. Opposite arm goes skyward, totally optional. Keep listening to what feels right for you, finding the space that feels appropriate for that arm to go. Maybe it's a little bit deeper into a back bend. Maybe it's upper. Maybe the head can drop back a little bit. Another option is full camel pose with both hands to the heel, if you can find it. Letting the heart and the belly open. Continue to trust the support of the knees, the ankles. Letting the head drop back. To come out, hands onto the hips or the sacrum and slowly coming out. We're going to take our hips down to the earth into a child's pose. If you can, take the knees together. If you're pregnant, you can take the knees apart. We're going to curl back into child's pose. Forehead to the earth, arms alongside the body. Taking that breath down the spine into the low back. Softening the edges of the kidneys, the sacrum. Letting the chest rest, the heart rest onto the thighs.
On the inhale, feel as if you could spread the skin across the back. Breathing all the way down into the flesh of the buttocks. Each exhale, the belly softens, the shoulders release. The nose maybe gets a little smush into the earth, softening the third eye, that wisdom center into the great wisdom of the earth. Often in this pose, I can use it as a place of release. Anything in my mind that's spinning, I like to visualize it dropping or dripping out of my forehead into the great earth. If that helps you, see this as an opportunity to let go. Into the weight, into the power of the earth. You can stay here if this is feeling just where you need to be, or you can interlace the fingers back behind you. Arms stay parallel, then lift the arms up and over the head or wherever you find a little boundary in the shoulder to stop into. Inhale, feel as if you could breathe into the shoulders like a balloon, spreading them wide. Exhale, let the shoulders feel heavy, dropping to the earth. Again, maybe another squish to the sinuses and nose. Invitation to stay here if this feels enough for the shoulders and the body, or roll like a wheel onto the crown of the head, massaging the crown of the head, this sweet sacred center as well, where we enter life, coming out of the womb, the crown of the head, that first spot that we become into this world, and also where the sunshine hits. Taking some weight there on the fontanelle, maybe moving or rocking the hips a little front and back or in a circle, massaging the crown of the head if it feels right for your neck. Finding a sweet spot or a marma point of release in the skull. And go ahead and release back down, hips to the ankles, arms back to the side of the body like tired wings for one breath. Feeling the weight of your bones, soft, soft, soft. If this child's pose doesn't feel delicious or hurts the knees, you can also use some props here. A bolster or a blanket underneath the knees can help. All right, friends, we're going to curl our spine up like a little spring sprout, maybe dragging the forehead along the earth until you slowly curl the spine up, one vertebrae at a time,
Until the head comes all the way up. And take our arms forward into a downward facing dog, pressing the hands into the earth, shifting the hips back into the feet. Then I'd like you to pump the legs one at a time. Feeling the heels touch or kiss the earth, opening the backs of the legs. And then pause the pumping for 3 breaths, finding the breath move the downward facing dog. So on an inhale, you might roll a little bit forward with the inhale, and the exhale might draw you in a little deeper, sinking, softening into the pose. So letting yourself be moved by the breath. Feeling the connection of the hands, strongly pushing into the earth. The connection of the feet, strongly connected and rooted to the earth. And from there, you're going to walk the feet forward till you're standing onto your legs. And you're going to slide the palms of your hands underneath the soles of the feet, giving them a nice smush or squish. As you fold forward, relaxing the head, the belly, smushing the hands, smushing the feet, and feeling this loop, this circle or chakra in Sanskrit. Energy moving down the arms, through the palms, and then up through the legs.
Good, and release. One more forward fold. Here we're going to take our left foot over our right. So we're going to cross the legs and then grab a hold of the ankles and fold forward. Softening the pubic bone and the belly, letting the spine hang. Walk the arms forward a bit. To come out and to switch sides, we're going to spin to the right. Keep spinning 360 degrees, full circle, full moon, all the way back. So now the right foot is in front. If you can, grabbing the ankles and folding forward. Feeling the feet press into the mat, softening the pubic bone, spreading the hips. Good, hands forward, stepping the feet together so that the big toes and the ankles touch. Folding forward, maybe grabbing ankles, grabbing elbows, letting the head hang. And we're going to curl our spine all the way up for one standing pose today. I told you we would be getting close to the earth. All right, so our one standing pose, I'd like you to keep those feet together, leaning forward and back so you feel the balls of the feet touching and kissing the earth, and then leaning back, feeling the heels connect to the earth, arms fall alongside the body. Just a little pendulum of your weight shifting forward and back. And then allow that pendulum to rock smaller and more subtly until you can hardly tell that you're rocking forward and back. And you find some moment of stillness, groundedness through the feet, through the legs, arms alongside the body feeling quite heavy, fingertips reaching towards the floor, and the crown of the head peeking and reaching through the crown towards the sky. And you find yourself in Tadasana, or a mountain pose. If your balance feels capable, you can close the eyes. And if you need to keep your eyes open, just find a drishti, a gaze, something to just lightly focus on, softening the edges of the eye. And then I'd like us all to envision in our mind's eye and in the wisdom of our body a mountain, a glorious mountain. Maybe it's one near our home or one we've traveled to. Taking in the beauty and the power of that mountain on earth. And seeing if we can offer our breaths here into this mountain pose, becoming that sweet mountain, feeling stable and glorious, connected to the earth, feeling wise and capable like that mountain. Blurring the edges between you and the earth, between you and your mother. Feeling this connection, this web of life. Here in mountain pose. Opening the eyes if they're closed, we'll offer 3 breaths to this mountain, to this earth, taking the arms all the way up. And exhale, drawing the hands through center. And as they do so, let the hands be like the motherly hands that are so nourishing. And let them just come across the face and nourish your face and your heart all the way down your body. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhaling the arms up. Exhale, feeling this loving presence, these healing hands of yours. Last one. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, drawing in
your healing presence, your balm, all the way down. All right, short and sweet. We're going to come down, lying down for Shavasana. Now, if you want to get a bolster underneath your thighs, if you have any low back ache, that is a nice support. A blanket underneath your head can also be wonderful. Any restorative pose that feels needed for you today, lying either completely flat onto the earth or maybe onto your side feels better today. Coming back into that stamping-like position of you on the earth, surrendering the weight of your body. Again, closing the eyes, drawing your attention and your presence inward. Slowing down the breath. Softening the edges where your body is embraced by the earth. Smoothing the sound of your breath. With each exhale, feeling that sense of release as the air leaves the body, a sense of relief through the bones, a discharging of gripping, a releasing and a surrendering. Allowing your full body to be held by the earth. Feeling the back merging into the crust of the earth, the soil. And if the visualization works for you, even visualizing some roots extending from your body through the earth, down deep into the fertile soil, the waterways, feeling plugged in. And if you can visualize these roots hugging the earth, see if it's possible to receive some nourishment from the earth up through those little tendrils of roots, moving their way back up to you. So as you rest here into the embrace of the earth, there's a sense of being fed. Not that dissimilar from the umbilical cord, feeding the human body. And our work here in Shavasana is to be still and to receive. With each breath, getting clearer, more effective on releasing and receiving. And for some, you can start to feel some prana or some chi circulating and nourishing the body. And if you don't, maybe visualizing with your mind's eye the power of imagination to receive nourishment, maybe in particular in the places in the body that need it most.
And begin to invite the breath into the boundaries of the skin, letting the breath slowly awaken the body from this deep plugging in. Maybe breathing into the earth below you, the back of the heart. If you've got the time to stay plugged in, feel free to stay laying down, nurturing pose to the nervous system. If it's time to move on, wiggling fingers or toes, ankles, feeling the body move free, stretching or hugging in of the body. And maybe rolling to one side or rolling up and down. Feeling free to rest onto one side, to not be in a rush, to take your time, enjoy your time. And eventually finding some way to peel yourself off of the earth. And we'll finish how we started in a seated position, maybe cross-legged or half lotus or lotus, or in a chair if that feels best for you today. Wherever you find yourself sitting, you can pull away any flesh from behind you so you really feel those sits bones ground into the earth, maybe rocking a little forward or back, feeling the hips ground, and then closing the eyes, softening the weight of the heart and the belly. Feel a little extension through the back of the skull, like someone's pulling you by a ponytail towards the sun or towards the full moon. A little magnetic drawing of your body towards the sun, towards the light. And taking the hands together at the heart in a prayer-like position, feeling the warmth of the palms meet each other like dear friends. Feeling that pulse of life shared between your own palms. And having a moment of gratitude for this pulse of life that was handed to us by our mothers, and our mother's mother, and our mothers, and our mothers, and our mothers, and our mothers, all the way back. Having a moment of gratitude for the giving nature of mothers. And we'll lastly finish with our hands on our own heart. Oh, and thanking our giving nature in this body, this piece of matter that's on the earth. And if it feels true for you, saying to yourself, I love you, and I am listening. I love you, and I am listening. I love you, and I am listening. Loving and listening this body. May it open and expose us to what we are ready to see this full moon and how we are better to honor our life. Sealing our practice with a little bow today. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining this journey. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Tawny Sterios, and I am a mother and a mover. I've been teaching yoga for
almost 20 years as I approach 40. And I'm also a doula, supporting mothers on their journey to bring life here to the planet and postpartum. I also hold retreats and soon to be some online courses of connecting to nature and the moon cycles and the wisdom that is available here for all of us and for our bodies. So thank you so much for joining this first yoga class. I'm going to also do one on the full moon in June that I hope you can join. It'll be here on Facebook Live as well, and more to come. I'm going to finish with a poem if you've got a little extra time. It's from one of my most favorite poets, Mary Oliver, who passed away last year or the year before. And it's the last poem in this book, Blue Horses. And it really reminds me of spring and this time we're in currently. What gorgeous thing, it's called. I do not know what gorgeous thing the bluebird keeps saying. His voice easing out of his throat, his beak, body into the pink air of the early morning. I like it, whatever it is. Sometimes it seems the only thing in the world that is without dark thoughts. Sometimes it seems the only thing in the world that is without questions, that can't and probably never will be answered. The only thing that is entirely content with that sweet pink, then clear, then white morning, and is so gratefully it says so. Hoping you find some grateful singing and birds to bring in some joy and grounding. And may you say it so. May it be so. Namaste until we move again.